You are live.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Mineralnye Vody 2021 Air Show.
Check.
Due.
I'm Mauro Zanotti, I'll be the narrator for you, and I will introduce you to this journey into the aerobatics and the world of aerobatics for the Frecce Tricolori Virtuali. The Frecce Tricolori Virtuali were born in April 2003. The whole idea of founding them came from a small group of passionate friends, all Italians, who had the different simulation experiences. They merged together studying the possibility to create a simulated flight activity. Everything came out purely from passion and also a bit of a challenge, as many of the flight simulators at that time were nearly impossible to carry out a similar project as FSN9. This simulator had a bad tolerance to fly a larger aeroplane formation and moreover at closer distances. May I remember that normally we fly 10 ships formation. After spending few years on the first lock-on sim, the IL-2 Sturmovik was released and FTV were enabled to start their own model from scratch, both graphics and physics area. The IL-2 Sturmovik allowed the team to perform better, either via internet or on-site events, thus resulting in a huge step up. As you've seen, they've closed the canopies right now. DCS was released in 2008, and after a while, Frecce Tricolori Virtuali switched onto it and started again from scratch and created the Mike Bravo 339 model. PAN, which is Pattuglia Acrobatica Nazionale. Continuing to enhance capability through the years. Over the years, the real pilots got in touch with Frecce Tricolori Virtuali in order to improve both discipline and performance to an extent where even today some of them are still flying with FTV.
Zero, esco a destra. Pronti?
They are almost ready to taxi. One is exiting. It's taxiing now to the holding position, followed by the wingmen. You will see in an Indian trail. Starting from Pony 1, may I remember the names of the pilots today? Pony 1 is Luca Viero, team leader, and Pony 2, Michele Benini is left wingman. Pony 3, Francesco De Pisa. Pony 8 is a right wingman. Pony 4, second left wingman, Stefano Zanchetto. Pony 5, Camillo Perincolo, second wingman, right wingman. He, by the way, is one of the developers of the Mike Bravo 339 models for DCS. 26, Giulio Cataldo, first slot and second section leader. He's responsible with the team leader for all the maneuvers and the geometries up in the sky. And it's a very important teamwork between the two of them because of they talk about coordination for the entire team. Pony 7, Luca Sodano, third left wingman. He's also a flight instructor for unmanned aerial systems and ultralight pilot. Pony 8, Marco Sabatini, third right wingman. And finally, Pony 9, Robert Scolari, with the second slot and one of the other one, the developer of the latest Mike Bravo 339 model for DCS. I'm afraid we are flying tonight without our solo pilot, who for unexpected circumstances could not attend the air show.
Flap, pick off, trim.
In the meantime, the team leader is giving all the orders for the checks before the Aermacchi MB339 are lining up and ready to take off.
Orizzonti e giro bussola. 115. 115 la display.
Nowadays, Frecce Tricolori Virtuali is the most numerous aerobatic team in the virtual world. Just like Pattuglia Acrobatica Nazionale, Frecce Tricolori, their authentic counterpart. Yet another interesting aspect is that all virtual pilots are flying in virtual reality thanks to the head-mounted displays. One of the most significant characteristics of Frecce Tricolori Virtuali displays is to involve the spectators, therefore there is no time to get bored. The main information is always, and we mean always, in sight of the spectators, even during the rejoins. And a total of 30 maneuvers in about 26 minutes are flown. This tells you a lot about the training and the consistencies of their training, which is made basically on two times a week, twice a week, even 3. During taxi, pilots are doing all the checks. You have seen now Pony 1 entering the runway. The first section of 5 aircraft, the second section consists in 4 aircraft. All the pilots are living in different cities, but they train as a basic airport in Verona Villafranca, which is in the Veneto region.
Yeah.
Lights on, all are taking their proper position.
Idle davanti.
Few seconds, and they'll be ready to take off once they get the clearance from the ATC.
Inizia a frenare piano.
Slowly breaking down. It's a slow breaking down action by the leader. You can see them just in front of you. Upon takeoff, the second section will lift a little bit before than the first section, just to avoid the wake turbulence. Takeoff speed will be about 120 knots. Ready on brakes. A few more seconds.
Siamo
Yeah.
posto avanti.
Posto dietro.
Coppiato a posto.
Pony 1 has received the OK from Pony 6.
Per tutti. Master dei fumi. Ora.
Spokesmaster on now. You can hear the sound of the engines.
Check. 2, 3,
There's a radio check.
6, 7, 8, 9.
All ready.
9, 6 avanti. Via.
7 dietro, usciremo a destra.
Full throttle. After the takeoff, the second section will exit to the right.
Per tutti. Pronti. Con I freni.
Ready with brakes. Go. They're rolling now. Once speed is resumed, the first section will proceed on, and the second section will lift off the ground. Here we are.
110 tiro su.
120. Andiamo su.
110 knots for the second section, 120 knots for the first section going up. You're probably seeing the special color of the Freccia Tricolore Abituali tonight. They have a special livery which was conceived to mark the 60th anniversary of the foundation of the Freccia Tricolore, the authentic Freccia Tricolore.
Via, flap, tutti su, ora.
Prova radio 1.
5 su 5, continuiamo. Riduci.
1. Riduco.
Viene ridotto 1.
9 a posto.
Fermi così. A destra. Via.
9.
Banking to the right, the second section will shortly close the entire formation in a beautiful diamond.
200.
Riusciamo bene dietro.
210. Riduco un filo.
After the rejoin, we're coming back low to perform a Schneider turn.
Siamo dentro a posto.
Coppiato dentro a posto.
You
Rilascio.
will know. Yeah, they are the formation to your right. Just planning low.
Giù scaricati a sinistra. via.
And on the notes, on the lyrics of the national Italian anthem, Fratelli d'Italia, ladies and gentlemen, here they are, showing our colors also, the Frecce Tricolori Virtuali in their Schneider turn.
Su, piano, a destra, via.
Pulling up at right, and they're now prepared for the next maneuver. This will mark the beginning of the air show for us. Banking to the right. At about 500 feet and with a speed of 330 knots, pulling up for the loop. They are pulling 4 Gs in tight formation. Distance among their wings is merely a few feet, whilst at the top of the maneuver it takes the formation about 4,500 feet. They come down with a slight left turn and get ready for the next maneuver. Ladies and gentlemen, be ready. And this will be ready with the cameras. And this is the entry loop of the Frecce Tricolori Virtuali.
Pronti come colorati. Colorati. Via. Pronti. Andiamo su. Ora.
Tricolor smokes going up now. Perfect diamond.
Tiro di più. In piedi.
The formation draws a big diamond in the sky, with both outer wingmen going back in position aligned with the first slot at pony 6, while pony 9 is assuming his standard position for the next maneuver.
40 fuori a destra. Via.
140 knots, pointing the center line of the display. Releasing now.
E con questa tirata continuo su bene, a destra.
And again, up and right.
Motore. Qui ci sarebbe a posto, a rombo, via. Sostengo.
Pony 1 has given the order to assume the diamond formation. Here we are.
Caricato a sinistra, via.
Pointing the display line.
Fumi bianchi, via. Pronti. Andiamo.
What smokes?
Continuiamo.
Up.
Pronti per l'apertura.
Ready for the opening. Opening now. This will be the maneuver so-called the Big Apple.
Alto 500
The speed is at 330 knots in front of the spectators for the first operation of the program, and we get into the most dynamic part of the program. It will be the Big Apple crossover.
Rilascio ancora.
Here they are.
Andiamo su.
State larghi c'è lag.
Keep your eyes on the 2 separating sections. This is quite a demanding maneuver for both the wingmen and the fly. They fly inverted for a long time.
Puntando.
They will then descend very fast for the formation crossover. Here we are. Both formations are going up now. Look at that, they are transforming in trade formation. And for the first section, we'll perform a tight loop at about 3,600 feet on the top, while the second section will fly a half Cuban.
210.
In order to catch up with the first section and rejoin. These airplanes will move from trail formation back to their normal position, 2 sections, and are now rejoining. Let's listen to the communication. 290, 6 inside. That means the speed brake is being retracted. 85 knots, 85%, sorry, the throttle.
Dentro quello che vuoi.
Giù a destra.
Ready for the next maneuver. This will be a spectacular one. Just pay attention to this. White smokes,
Via.
4 and 5 back.
Ora andiamo
It's a diamond roll.
a sinistra ora.
To the left now, this maneuver is both elegant and difficult to perform at the same time. It's a barrel roll performed with a distance of less than 2 meters, about 6 feet, among airplanes, while on top of the maneuver reaches about 2,500 feet. 230 knots. There's a slowing down a bit. The formation leaves the display zone on your left, going up while pony 7 and 8 will transform for the next maneuver.
A sinistra, via.
To the left now. Ready for a synchronized roll?
Un filo di motore a posto dietro, 7.
This maneuver was born almost 50 years ago with the Fiat G91 airplanes. And let's listen to the leader and look at the wingman. This is the fan brake after the rolls. You see the transformation of the formation.
Motore.
The second section pulls up in the sky a little earlier than the first one. Both will perform a loop, followed by a left turn enabling them to rejoin together. The maneuver is called the Apollo 313, and it's a tribute to the separation of the land lunar module from the Apollo main vector. Fan brake here. Tonneau, which is the barrel roll. Smokes now and hop. At the end of the loop, you can see the two wingmen in second section moving from pony 9 wing to pony 6-1. Let's follow this fantastic rejoin in less than 20 seconds at about 250 knots.
Motore avanti, ora.
Parla 6.
Ti vedo. Rilascio.
2,60.
7 e 8 avanti. Via.
You can see now the second section is closing very quickly to the first section.
6 dentro.
Speed brakes in,
Vedo bene, motore 1.
reducing the throttle.
Siamo dentro.
1.
A posto.
Perfect. Ready for the next maneuver.
Riduco un filo. Pronti? A sinistra, via.
To the left now. Leader is reducing a little bit of power.
Bene a sinistra. Stringo.
Closing in. Shortly, the two sections separate and will perform 3 crossover. The first one will start the draw in the heart from the bottom, whilst the second one ends the draw at the top.
Pronti.
This is the love
Sinistra.
that Freccia Tricolori Virtuali are willing to spread to all of you people attending the show and all of you passionate about aerobatics.
Bene, sinistra. Pronti, giù. Veloci a destra, via.
There they are.
Colora, bianchi, via. Andiamo su.
And that's the first crossover. White smokes going up.
Fuori a destra. In piedi.
Almost standing, inverted now.
Pronti per l'apertura. Via.
Ready for the opening now.
Via i fumi dietro.
Via avanti. Ora.
Coming down from the top of the heart, ready for the last 3 crossovers. Tricolor smokes and then watch the 2 section cross over at 600 knots relative speed.
Testata, stringo.
Smoke off. Both sections of the second one pulls a very tight slider turn while the first one performs 5 turn. In S turn, waiting for the rejoin. This part is very difficult because the difference of speed between the 2 sections is very high, and pony 6 will have a hard time. Time and precision are everything now, and rejoin needs to be done in about 30 seconds.
Motore 6.
Pointing now,
Motore avanti.
full throttle. Releasing now, says pony 6.
Motore.
Throttle now.
1, salgo.
Almost closing. 190 knots for the first section.
80,
80% the throttle.
75,
75, and this allows the second section to get in. That's the minimum throttle that you can handle. 90 knots now. Resuming speed. 10 seconds for the rejoin.
Veduto bene. Pronti con i freni. Sei fuori.
Section. Speed brakes out and in. Ready.
Siamo dentro a posto.
giù, veloce destra, via.
Resuming speed now. Down to the right. Look at the formation now in a new configuration. 340 knots is speed. Let's see the two outer wingmen performing a slow barrel roll going back to the bottom of the formation. A nice way to change position and formation in it. In the meantime, the two first wingmen change the line of breast.
Via.
4 and 5. Take position. Rolling back. Here we are. The leader starts the loop, and at the top of the maneuver you can see the wine glass picture in the sky. Look at the formation now, a beautiful wine glass. That's a tribute to the Italian country, producing some of the most appreciated wines in the world.
In piedi.
At the end of this maneuver, both point 3 and 4 go back in position and the formation leaves.
5 e 3, 140.
140 knots. Here they are, out of the loop.
A rombo. Via.
Does the diamond conversion now.
Rilascio.
Here they are.
A sinistra. Via.
Up again and left.
A posto dietro. A ciglio. Via.
Swan formation, and it's a right roll. Here they are.
Un filo di motore.
Just a little bit of throttle to get more power and get ready for the next maneuver.
Bianchi dietro. Via.
White smokes.
Iniziamo a caricare. Ora.
Pointing the display line.
A destra.
Going up. Here they are. This beautiful barrel roll.
E 3.
You will notice now the distance among the airplanes. They're very tight.
Lo fermo. Via i fumi dietro. Ora.
Stop white smokes now. The precise order.
Via.
4 and 5 forward.
Via.
Resuming diamond formation now.
A destra.
To the right.
Avanza 5.
Fermi così. Pronti. A sinistra. Via.
To the left now. Again, gaining energy for the next maneuver. Tight turn to remain always in sight of the spectators.
Giù. Scaricati a destra. Via.
To the right now.
Trapezio. Via. Linea in fronte. Via.
Line abreast now. The wingmen are positioning on line abreast, and the color smokes up now for the Arizona maneuver.
Andiamo su.
Here they are. There is no time to breathe as the formation changes again into a diamond formation with white smoke, and get ready for the separation.
Via. Bianchi. Ora. Via colorati. Ora.
White smokes now.
Rilascio. Riduco.
Arizona, it's a maneuver that is a tribute to the Arizona of the Aviators, a famous real tavern in Italy, frequented by the pilots back in the 70s. Let's watch the two sections coming in front of the spectators for the crossover. This is a huge art delivered by Freccia Tricolore Virtuale to all spectators here today and for all aerobatics lovers.
Testata.
Heading now to the threshold, releasing now. Watch out for the crossover.
Pronti con i freni, freni fuori avanti. Via.
Freccia Tricolore Virtuale.
Ora.
Motore.
Another very difficult rejoin for point 6. The first section is on the left-hand display area, while the second section is pulling more and more in this difficult Schneider turn, and then up to the right, catching the planes in the front. First section is flying about 180 knots now, while the second section is getting closer at about 300 knots. Point 6 is fully focused on speed and distance, ready to call the air brake for the...
Uno dentro. Stay fuori.
Here we are, air brake in for the first section and air brake out for the second section. All of this happens in just 40 seconds and always in sight of the spectators, as you can see. As I said, unfortunately we have no solids tonight, but nevertheless it's a good way to how the main formation performs and rejoins.
Siamo dentro quello che puoi.
Uno.
Ready for the next one. Look straight at the center of the display. The formation will now approach in its standard configuration, but will change in a few seconds. Do not follow just a single airplane. Just look in front of you and watch the spectacular maneuver now. Ready to... Here they are.
Colorati.
Tricolor smokes now, just in front of you. Be ready.
Pronti per l'apertura. Via.
Ready? And that's the spark. The spark is... The airplanes are all over the place filling the sky, as this is one of the most demanding rejoin in the world. Technically and safety-wise, the real Freccia Tricolore as well as the Freccia Tricolore Virtuale are able to perform this maneuver in less than a minute. Watch how they rejoin. After inverting, speed breaks out, 230 knots.
$2.30.
Pony one's just giving the speed to all wingmans in order for them to know exactly where they are, what it takes to get into. 190.
Lì, resta lì due, resta lì, resta non salire, rimani là,
Fermo così.
togli manetta.
Here they are.
Fermo così 2.
Freni fuori.
Sei fumi.
Via i fumi per tutti.
Motore, vai motore 2. Ok, a posto.
Quello che vuoi.
A destra, via.
Here they are.
Freni dentro.
Backing to the right now, speed breaks in. It's quite demanding maneuver as you've seen.
Riduco.
Ready for the beautiful next maneuver now. Pointing the display line,
Andate.
reducing a little bit of speed
Via.
to the left now.
Trapezio. Via. Linea di fronte. Via.
Line of wrist. And
Motore. Ora.
this is the double roll.
320. Arriva. Colorati. Via.
Tricolor smokes.
320 con i 94. Pronto.
302, 320 knots. Internal away,
Esterno.
transforming. External now, rolling. And that's the fan.
Via i fumi. Ora a piramidone.
Smokes out, assuming a big pyramid formation. New maneuver and new configuration for the main formation. You can see the 5 airplanes, first section, the second section, 4 airplanes, 22 and 3 will perform a roll, followed by 4 and 5 as you've seen, performing a roll themselves. Upon completion of the maneuver, the formation pulls up, the leader goes for a loop during which formation transforms into a pyramid and gets ready for the downburst bomb.
Andiamo giù.
Are you ready? And that's the bomb burst opening. Point to the ground.
Rilascio.
All airplanes descend, moves on, taking different directions and altitudes, covering entirely the sky above the spectators and then pulling up for the loop and the crossover. Up, almost standing. Standing now,
Fermi. Andiamo.
almost inverted.
45. Rovescio. 4 e 7. 100.
Inverted now, 4,700 feet.
Puntando. Inverto.
Pointing, inverting now, and crossing again. You can see airplanes coming from all over the places. 150 feet the altitude. Team leader is always the reference for them.
Andiamo su.
And up now. That's the bomb crossover. All airplanes are coming very low and fast towards the center of the display line.
Rolla 9. A posto, a posto.
Freni fuori avanti. Via.
Riduci 6.
Ridotto. Puntando in verso.
Quickly the airplanes resume their position. The leader will perform a tight loop, while the airplanes on the second section will perform an off-coordinate, enabling to catch the first one. This is a very difficult time because airplanes are very far and speed difference is quite significant. 26, the second section leader, will have a hard time in order to make it look smooth and precise. 210 knots.
Sei fuori.
200.
Sei dentro.
210.
26 is almost there. Second section will be ready to get into the main formation, reducing now speed. Here they are. Few seconds.
Entrando.
Ready.
Chiudiamo piano. Siamo dentro e a posto.
Copiato dentro a posto. Pronti tutti con i freni.
Ready with the everybody ready for with the speed brakes. Speed brakes out for all the formation. The airplanes get even closer than before. Distance now between airplanes is below 1.5 meters. Remember that these airplanes are not provided all fly-by-wire. Formation banks at almost 60 degrees of angle. Looking how tight they are, passing by in front of the spectators.
Inverto. Via.
They turn and then level out, ready to transform to the last maneuver of this beautiful program. It's not the end of it.
Lo riprendo.
Here they are, the Freccia Tricolori virtual in this beautiful Schneider turn. Reducing speed.
Anche 2.
Puntando inverto. Via.
Returning now for the next maneuver, and that will be the final salute for the Freccia Tricolori virtuale to all our friends here at Mineralnye Vody 2021 Airshow.
Pronti con il carrello. Carrello giù.
Landing gear down.
Flaps.
Flaps down.
Ora.
In this special occasion, we would like to dedicate the show to our good friend Pino, sadly recently passed away and still sorely missed. He was one of the passionate friends we had, and he was coming from the virtual club, wing club of Vicenza.
Via.
Face to now.
So long, Pino. And on the lyrics of Maestro Pavarotti and the romanza Nessun Dorma, ladies and gentlemen, be ready for the final salute of the Frecce Tricolori Virtuali.
Giù, piano destra. Fermi così. Pronti con i colorati. Colorati.
Ready with the tricolor now. The Italian flag, the largest flag in the world. Ladies and gentlemen,
Ora.
the Frecce Tricolori Virtuali, they would like to hug you and say thank you for being here today, thank you for the support, and thank you for all friends and passionate about aerobatics.
Giù, a destra. Continuo a destra. Ora.
Continuing now, banking to the right,
Via.
we get ready for landing.
A sinistra. Via. Fermi così. 9 a posto. Via.
Number 9, second lot, has received the order to get back in position.
6 pronto. 6 fuori.
Riduco.
6 out.
A
Six,
destra.
Pony 6 is reducing speed and the formation split in order to be ready for the landing.
A destra.
You see the two formations banking to the right.
Riduco.
Riduco dietro.
It's been a pleasure to be sharing with you our program, and it's been a great occasion to show the ability of the pilots of the Frecce Tricolori Virtuali.
Giù lentamente a destra.
Almost ready for landing. You can see the two formations just in front of you, the two sections. 140 knots, approaching speed, reducing now.
Trenta. Trenta. 25. Andiamo giù.
Pronti con i fumi dietro. Bianchi. Ora.
White smoke for the second section. The first one has done the touchdown.
Idle.
The second section is almost there.
Ora.
Dentro tutti avanti. Via.
At this point, Pony 1 has given the order to be all in trail, and I'll take the chance to remember the pilots' names. Pony 1, Luca Viero, team leader. Pony 2, Michele Bedini. Pony 3, Francesco De Pisa. Pony 4, Stefano Zanchetto.
Freno bene.
Pony 5, Camillo Perinciolo. Pony 6, Giulio Cataldo.
Freno
Pony 7, Luca Sodano.
dentro.
Pony 8, Mirko Sabatini. And Pony 9, Roberto Scolari. Here they are, sir. The Frecce Tricolori Virtuali would like to extend their thanks and for participating to the Mineralnye Vody 2021 Air Show, and thank you very much for the support and for your friendship.
50. Inizio a frenare.
Hello everyone, now we are back